Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vinay Joshi, and today I'm going to host and present to the webinar. Thank you for taking time to join us on this webinar on Agentic AI for NFP. This will be around 60-minute session, and I'm sure you will find it quite insightful with what can be achieved in AI for your NFP business. I will go through the agenda quickly. I will carry on with the introductions and agenda overview. And then we have a guest speaker from Microsoft, Joanna. She will be talking about becoming frontier firm. And then we have a Benno who is going to do a deep dive into quite a lot of technology in AI in Microsoft ecosystem. I will take up agentic AI in NFP and a case study. And then towards the end, we have something interesting which is related to assessment and offers. And there could be a probability that you can win a funded engagement to get onto this journey of adopting AI in your organization. So stay tuned. There's a lot coming through. A quick introductions to the speakers today. I'm going to host as well as speak. I'm with Exigo for quite a long time and in the Microsoft ecosystem. We have a guest speaker with us from Microsoft, Joanna Kilalia Walford, and she works as a partner solution sales manager for SMB in Microsoft. And we have Ben Opit as well from Exigotech, who is business transformation lead, MS BizApps and AI. We'll just bring on Ben and Joe onto the screen. So those are the speakers for the day. Joe, if you can stay there because it will be our next section. I will quickly go through a quick introduction about Exigotech. Established 2015, around 150 plus consultants spread across 5 geography. I would say we love Microsoft. We eat, breathe, sleep Microsoft. We got 6 different solution designations, specializations, and it has been recognized by Microsoft as well, specifically in context to NFPs. Last year, we were finalists for Not-for-Profit Innovation Award, where we delivered a classic case for Samaritans of Singapore in Singapore for creating a chatbot using a lot of Azure and other services to give that great experience. We are also Telstra Microsoft Partner of the Year. Another big thanks to Telstra because we have been working with them and been great support to us. And we have won many other awards through AR. One more important thing, security. Being into the information technology services, we are into security and we take this pretty seriously. We are an ISO 27001 compliant company and we also provide security as a services. I will talk through more about it, what's coming up with security. Before holding for the main content for this webinar, I will hand it over to Joe. Over to you, Joe. You can take some control of the presentation and how a businesses can become frontier.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And good afternoon. So firstly, thank you very much for the invite along. I'm always really excited to work with our partners. It's something that really excites me about my day and getting to meet all our wonderful customers. So let's get started. What is a front? Why does it matter? Who's doing it? And what are some examples? We're moving into a new era with AI, one that's bigger than just automating tasks. The organizations moving fast, what Microsoft refers to as frontier firms, are redesigning how work's done with agentic AI. This isn't about pilots, it's about scaling intelligence. Agentic AI can reason, collaborate, and act, handling research, reporting, coordination, and hindsight, so people can focus on mission outcomes. For you and your customers, that means less time on administration and more focus on service delivery, fundraising, and community. Most organizations are still bolting on AI. Frontier firms are building with it from the very beginning, right from the ground up. When intelligence is abundant and autonomous, execution accelerates, layers reduce, and humans shift from managing process to setting direction. And here's the leadership question I keep coming back to. If intelligence is no longer the constraint, what are you optimized for? This isn't about replacing people, it's about elevating them. And every organization faces the same choice. Lead the transformation or spend the next decade catching up. In our conversations and research, common themes emerge. Nonprofits today are under real pressure. Rising demand for services, staff shortages and burnout, declining donor retention, financial instability, and efficient operations driven by outdated technology. Demand is increasing, resources are tightening, and teams are being asked to do more with less, often without the tools to catch up. The opportunity is that AI can change this. Used well, it helps nonprofits streamline operations, personalize donor engagements, strengthen strengthen compliance, and focus scarce human effort where it matters most, delivering impact. AI is already transforming nonprofits today. It's helping organizations align more closely to their mission, make smarter strategic decisions, automate operations, protect data, and accelerate fundraising. The result is greater efficiency, stronger donor engagement, and more sustainable impact. Right now, not someday. And as we go through these slides, I'll have some customer examples and demos to share. Specifically, we'll look at Contoso. Whilst this is a fictional organization, it is representative of many mid-sized customers we work with in this segment. So AI is already creating real change, and the nonprofits leading in are seeing results now: efficiency, stronger relationships, and more sustainable impact. Let's talk about what it actually means to become frontier as a nonprofit. AI is the catalyst here. It's helping nonprofits modernize across these 4 areas: staff experience, program delivery, support engagement, and operational transformation. The idea isn't just about adopting new technology. It's about fundamentally reimagining how your organization operates, delivers its mission, and engages with staff, supporters, and the communities you serve. For nonprofits, becoming frontier means empowering every worker and volunteer to do more, streamlining program delivery, and modernizing the experience for those you serve. As we move forward, consider where your organization stands on this journey. What would it look like for you to become a frontier nonprofit? What's one area where AI could help you take a bold step? Now, let's watch a very brief video sharing how Microsoft Copilot can help nonprofit organizations. I must admit, I do have a crush on Copilot. I use it every single day. Anyway, an example I wanted to share is engaging supporters and fundraisers. This slide highlights how AI and Copilot are transforming the way nonprofits connect with donors and supporters. First, let's talk about modernizing your fundraising strategy with examples from WaterAid. By using platforms such as Azure and Power BI, organizations can centralize donor data, foster collaboration, and move from local fundraising efforts into integrated global campaigns. Automation is key here. It frees up your fundraising teams to focus on strategy rather than the manual tasks. WaterAid is a great example of an organization using these tools to scale. The big takeaway: this just isn't about efficiency. It's better, more personal supporter relationships at scale. As you think about your own organization, consider where automation and data-driven insights could help you engage donors in new ways. My next video shows how Megan uses Microsoft Copilot to help with the grant writing process.
Today, we're going to explore how Microsoft's latest AI tools can support your nonprofit organization. Specifically, we'll dive into how Microsoft 365 Copilot can help you create content effectively, efficiently, and securely. Here's a process you may be all too familiar with: writing a grant application. Even if you're applying for the same grant every year, the content of your application will likely change. Let's look at how a nonprofit, Contoso, would leverage some AI tools to simplify the process. Before we jump in, let's start with some basics about the AI-powered solutions we're exploring today. Some of the most exciting advancements in AI are coming out of large language models, called LLMs, and generative AI. LLMs take a question, known as a prompt, provided by the user. That's you. Then the LLM analyzes it and creates an appropriate response based on relevant data, like previously created materials or information from the internet. Copilot also respects your privacy and security and does not retain or train on your organization's data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is an AI assistant powered by an LLM. It can help you with various tasks across different platforms, such as Windows, Bing, and Microsoft 365. As a user, your interaction with Copilot is largely the same, regardless of whether you use it with Bing, Windows, or Microsoft 365. Simply ask Copilot a question via a prompt and get an answer in response. The only difference is where you ask the question. Let's see how that works in Contoso's grant writing scenario. For the purpose of our example, Megan, a development associate at Contoso, is writing a grant to support a digital literacy initiative in her community. First, Megan needs to find some external data to validate Contoso's proposal. Since she needs information outside of Contoso's own data, she toggles to the web and asks Microsoft 365 Copilot to find relevant information on the state of digital literacy in the impacted community in Washington state. Copilot summarizes relevant statistics, providing sources for reference. When our development associate has follow-up questions, she can ask Copilot to refine the response and even change the tone of the response to meet her needs. These answers are just the starting point. Megan uses the responses as a basis for her rough draft, but ensures that she crafts the final language in a way that is true to Contoso's brand voice. Now, Megan will use Microsoft 365 Copilot in Word to create and edit her grant proposal document. She can ask Copilot to help with tasks, such as draft a grant proposal for Contoso's digital empowerment program and specify documents she wants Copilot to reference. She can drop in the external data she found on the web, plus she can merge it with internal data as well. Our development associate can pull in an Excel table of program metrics and ask Copilot, write an executive summary for my proposal. After Megan cleans up her draft, she can summarize it and share it with her team on email. As you can see, using Microsoft 365 Copilot can make your grant research, drafting, and sharing process easier and faster. Ready to get started? To get started with Microsoft 365 Copilot, visit aka.ms/amplifycreativity. And if you're a registered nonprofit with Microsoft, you can access grants and discounts to support your Copilot journey at microsoft.com/nonprofits.
Fantastic. I love how it moves from Copilot into Word and then into Outlook. And that grant writing example, just to go over here for a little bit, I was hanging out with a customer, a not-for-profit customer last week, and they sat in on a session where he was able to write 2 agents in 90 minutes. And in that time, he wrote his own grant agent. And he said it was game-changing for him. The amount of time it's going to save his organization. And I think it's just those simple, real-life examples of how technology can change this industry to alleviate some of the pressure that you're feeling every day. Anyway, the second example of customers I'd like to share is around delivering impact programs. This slide showcases how nonprofits are using AI to scale their impact and deliver more effective programs. You can find more about each of these stories on the MS website. Let's start with Operation Smile. By integrating Azure OpenAI, they streamlined how medical events are tracked and triaged. AI agents analyze reports and images in real time, uncovering performance trends and helping refine processes, ultimately improving the patient experience. Instead of humans reviewing reports and KPIs, AI agents continuously ingest operational signals and surface meaningful deviations. I know what you might be thinking. Hang on, doesn't that replace people? Great question. Think of it as AI detects the patterns, correlates the signals, flags deviations, explains what and where. But humans are extremely important in this process for contextual judgment. Humans set the priorities and own the outcomes. Humans explain why it matters. And let's be clear, not every optimal decision is the right one. AI scales intelligence. Humans scale judgment. Microsoft is a proven leader in AI transformation. The advantages we offer are essential tools for agentic transformation that will empower your organization. The Microsoft Cloud Platform to deliver AI capabilities, secure infrastructure, and seamless integration, even with your existing system. The most widely adopted AI developer tools for any platform and open source models. Our unified data platform brings together data and analytics into a single experience. The ability to protect your organization with Microsoft's AI-first end-to-end security platform. What this really comes down to is freeing up people to do more of the work only humans can do. Connection, judgment, and impact. Now, let's get practical. And Benno is going to walk us through the IQ stack and how we turn this into real action.
Thanks very much, Joe. Very good. I really like how you suggested that this is an incredibly powerful tool set, but humans are just so important, and we're seeing it every day in our workload. So thank you very much. So I'm just going to click on the next slide, and I'm going to talk a little bit about something called the Microsoft IQ Stack. Now, it's pretty new from Microsoft. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the Microsoft IQ Stack, and it's just incredible. Now, this came about in Ignite in 2025 in San Francisco, and it made one thing very clear for me. AI agents are no longer productivity tools. They're more than that. They help you elevate and improve your productivities and things so beyond our capabilities that we're really still understanding them ourselves. So it's an incredibly important message from Microsoft, and they are seriously thinking about how to start getting some of this knowledge and information back into the Microsoft ecosystem so you can make really important decisions. They're becoming operational backbones of modern digital ecosystems, and not-for-profits are in need of these systems more than ever. To make these agents reliable and context-aware and also enterprise-ready, Microsoft introduces 3 new foundational layers or intelligence layers. This is what's all about giving AI far better business context-aware so it can drive real outcomes and not just generate impressive responses. Now, Microsoft introduced a new concept called the IQ Stack, and it gives AI real business context, surfacing intelligent data at the right time and really understanding your business. Also in the flow of your business, so you're not interrupted by what's happening. You will get intelligent insights as you continue on your workloads. Now, the IQ Stack is made up of 3 layers, all working together. Work IQ understands what happens in your Microsoft 365 tenancy, from emails and meetings and documents and Microsoft Teams. So it understands priorities, patterns, and where effort is wasted, and makes intelligent solutions. Then we've got Fabric IQ, which brings your data together into what's called Microsoft Fabric, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that later, and I have a bit of a demonstration for you. And this adds meaning throughout the semantic layer, very important when it comes to AI workloads, allowing AI agents to reason over data better, like donors, programs, grants, and finances. And as I said, I'll show that to you shortly. And in the middle there is Foundry IQ, and this is the knowledge base layer, grounding AI agents in secure, trusted, governed informations. So AIs are responding accurately and now actionable. I'll also talk a little bit more about Agent 365 as we continue down this presentation. Together, the IQ Stacks enables AI agents that don't just answer questions, but understand context and make meaning and help you make meaningful agents. Very important, as Joe shared before. Okay, so let me share a little bit more about Work IQ. Work IQ is one of the intelligent layers, and it's all about how work actually happens inside your business. Work IQ creates a personalized and intelligent experience by combining 3 elements. Memory, which is your working style, your habits, your patterns, and you can update that memory so it's more valuable for how you do your work. Inference, which is about the context, insights, and predictive answers, and it's now connected to the memory, so that those 2 are very important. And data. Data is everything. Your emails, your meeting, your documents, and your line of business systems. The results is AI that doesn't just respond to prompts, it understands how you work, anticipates what you need, and helps agents act together in real time. You can actually tier up multiple agents one after another. So as one workload finishes, the next one can come in. So it looks at how people collaborate across shared documents, against meetings and emails and chats, so it better understands your business. Work IQ understands pattern like, where is my collaboration heavy and where is work getting stuck? Or who are people overloaded at the moment? Have we got too many people assigned to something? And where work is being manually handled? All of these is powered by Microsoft 365 and the data organizational signal graph. M365 in the center. Let me play a very quick video for you on Work IQ.
Microsoft 365 Copilot with Work IQ, AI built for work. Work IQ is the intelligence layer that enables Microsoft 365 Copilot and agents to know you, your work, and your company. Work IQ brings together data, memory, and inference. It includes work data, emails, chats, meetings, and files, capturing how work gets done. It's woven into the apps you use every day, like PowerPoint, Excel, Word, Outlook, and Teams, so Copilot is always learning. It has memory, your style, preferences, and relationships so Copilot understands your unique patterns. Finally, it includes inference, which brings it all together, enabling Copilot to connect the dots to unlock insights and predict the next best action. You can even tap into Work IQ to build custom agents. It connects everything that matters inside your company and turns it into an experience that feels effortless, powerful, and personal.
So we've all come to terms that the fact that data is the fuel that powers AI. But for NFPs, they have data all over the place, from SharePoint, Word and Excel and OneDrive, MYOB and Xero, to Microsoft Teams, even Snowflake and Databricks, or even on-premise SQL servers. Many of them have been even bringing in data sets from other clouds like Google and AWS. So Microsoft have invested heavily into this space, so you can quickly and easily discover insights and data sets from lots of different sources. I'll talk to you more about how we can begin to bring your data into this incredible workspace, but I do want you to know a little bit more about Fabric, and that it is actually the fastest growing workload from Microsoft, seeing a 33% year increase in revenues. It's a big focus area for Microsoft and something we've been paying a lot of attention to as well. And I actually created a data set around non-for-profits, which I'll shortly show you. Hopefully my next video is not going to fail. It's Fabric IQ. If someone could just give me a thumbs up when that starts playing, that'd be great. Now, Fabric IQ takes things to the next step. It unifies data across the organization in Microsoft Fabric. So AI isn't guessing from single scattered sources. It's reasoning over a single governed foundation. On top of that foundation sits Fabric workloads, data engineering, warehousing, real-time insights, and more, working together like one team and not separate tools. In short, we've moved from seeing data to understanding context and to taking action safely and at scale. Think of it as the brain behind your analytics and insights from inside your organizations, and you don't need a data scientist anymore. You can do this yourself. Microsoft Fabric brings all these things together into what's called One Lake. It's like a big OneDrive for your company data. I will have a demo shortly on that, as I promised, which will be able to ask things like, which assets is the mostly associated with Christmas donations? Or which regions in New South Wales have the highest birthday giving drive dates? Or how does the do not spam status affect our contact channels? All very important questions a lot of people aren't quite sure how to answer, and we get these insights. It uses Copilot and AI agents to give you instant insights without needing to completely rewrite your queries. I'm going to click onto the next slide. Okay, this video should play.
Data is the fuel that powers AI, but data alone is not enough. AI needs an understanding of what the data means, how things relate, and which actions turn insight into impact. Introducing Microsoft Fabric IQ, the semantic foundation that unites data, business meaning, and action into a single unified view of your organization. Model your business using visual, no-code tools, so the people who know your company can adapt it as fast as it evolves. Create entities over all your data in one lake, not only your analytical data and Power BI semantic models, but also your operational, geospatial, and real-time data. Navigate your business the way it actually runs, not by tables and schemas, but by organizational concepts. And ultimately, elevate your teams and your AI to ask questions, reason, and act in the language of your business. Powered by this live, unified view of your organization. Trigger actions in real time using rules and empower AI operations agents to run your business, because now they understand its live context. Connect Fabric IQ seamlessly with Foundry IQ, uniting your live business context with the knowledge captured in your documents and communications. This combination from Microsoft gives developer-built agents in Foundry unmatched context, so they can make decisions you trust and continuously optimize your operations for superior outcomes. From unified data to unified intelligence, this is IQ in Microsoft Fabric.
Now, just let me set the scene for you a little bit before I get going. How to wrangle siloed data into meaning. Now, this is an example of some of the reports we get asked to improve. As you can see, very hard to look at. It gives us some context and insights, but I have no way to interpret that and to make some strategic decisions. And there is a better way. Microsoft Fabric is that way. So what if we could use natural language to just ask some questions? So as you can see on the right, pretty ordinary data set. It is valuable insights, but it is hard to look at. So I'm going to demonstrate something to you very shortly. Now, before I actually do that, I want you to see that I've actually created some synthetic data. So there's no PII data here. It's all make-believe data. But we do have some data sets. There's about 7 data sets in total. On the top left, we've got data from our fundraising platforms, which has got donation IDs, dates, campaigns, donor types and regions, something I'm sure you guys have data sets on as well. And on the bottom left to that, we've got some data around marketing, including locations and reporting periods and beneficiaries served. Then on the top right, we've got some data around finance and some of that data from our finance tools, including budget and variances. And then underneath that is some hours that were consumed based on regions. And then we can actually ask some questions. So with that, I think you'll probably be quite excited about some of the questions I'm about to ask. So let me share my screen. Now, this is Microsoft Fabric. I'll just show you the workspace. I am going to be talking about the non-for-profit demo workspace here, and I apologize, I'm looking to my side here. But this is a bit of an overview of the data set we've got and how Microsoft's semantic layer pulls all these data sets in together. This was all done using AI. There was some help from the human to assist to make sure that it was correct, but we've got products and business units and orders and lots of different data sources. Now, you could imagine in your business, this will probably come from 3 or 4 different data sources. You can now pull all this inside of the Microsoft Fabric environment and begin to talk to your data. So I've just got some tabs up here just to help me along. The second tab is that data set. As you can see, we've got some information around Christmas appeal and birthday appeals, some state information. By the way, this is 115,000 lines of data. So a huge amount of data. It also includes a website asset that was utilized. If I look on the non-for-profit side of things on the donor side, this data set will talk about donor IDs. Again, unique IDs, so we're not sharing any data, whether they're male or female, their age, their location. Excellent, really rich data sets, phone numbers, and some fake email addresses. Then if you look to the non-for-profit side, we're getting some information around months and budgets and actual spends. So we can actually report back to the board saying, hey, we had a $400,000 event last quarter that netted this return. You can actually just ask that question inside of Fabric. It is so powerful. Then this data set talks about some of the program IDs, as well as some of the cost per beneficiary analysis that we were able to pull into it, as well as some of the programs and actual volunteers as well, because it's very important that if we are getting volunteers into our business, into our non-for-profit business, that we're making use of that time and we're reporting back on that success, because you need to go around and ask for another round of funding, right? Now, on top of this, we do have what's called our notebook. You don't need to worry too much about this. Just be aware of it. This is where someone at Exigo Tech will help with you on your understanding your context. We can deliver this in multiple languages. You're probably most familiar with TSQL, which is been around for a very long time. I learned SQL in 2001, so it's been around a long time and it's still here, which is excellent. But you don't have to worry about that. Just letting you know that there are some ways that we can talk to our data and get some more meaning out of it. And then finally is this actual the NFP agent. Now on the left hand side, you can see we've got our schemas and databases and tables, very similar to what we saw before on our semantic layer, but we've actually given it agent instructions so that it understands context better. So again, we've built this ourselves and we can make changes to this. We're talking about data sources and donations and how that works and the programs and the relationships, and we define all the hours of work, what your quarterly, what your fiscal year looks like, your core metrics, and we go into that detail. Now, just to save some time, I did go ahead and ask some questions. I'm just going to scroll back so you can see the type of questions we were able to ask, and it starts here. In green is the question I asked. What can you tell me about the last few quarters of budget versus variance against all our cost centers? Now, I had not refreshed this in time, so I was not able to get to that. So I was able to refresh it and then go to the next question, which is, which website assets are the most associated with Christmas donations? Now, what is excellent is it able to pull all that context into this window and then give some insights down here. The Christmas Appeal landing page dominates in both donation volume and value. Excellent value, excellent insights, and we can make some decisions based on that. I'll continue. There's about 7 questions in total. Now, this next one is, which website assets are most associated with Christmas donations? Breakdown list from the top down to the bottom. And the Christmas Appeal landing page is by far the most influential driver of December Christmas donations. Excellent insights. Probably knew that already, but now we've got actual data to relate that against. Now, what about this one? Which regions have the highest drop off of donations over the past 12 months? And as you can see here, we've got some challenge in Riverina. So we might want to dive into that detailed data set a bit more and say, hey, what happened in this region? Did something happen that's affecting our ability? By the way, let me just highlight the response time here is 13 seconds for some of these things. So they're extremely quick at responding to your questions. Now, what are the contact channels and their distribution? That's a very important one. What's the most successful for us? Email is still the most successful, followed by SMS. So maybe we need to focus on these two workloads for our next strategy. What about show me donations made in the last 7 days of a donor's birth date by gender? Now, this is interesting. In this data set, 3,500 donations totaling $1.1 million for females. So we know instantly that how important that metric is for us. Now, what can you tell me about the high value donors in New South Wales and group them in a logical way? Now, I didn't tell it what that logical way is. I let the semantic knowledge and the agent instruction come up with this. And we've got some instant insights, suggesting the majority are over 50 individuals with high value giving, also amongst between 30 and 49%, and a very few are under 30. And Central Coast, Sydney and Illawarra are consistently ranking at the topmost. Again, all fake data, you can ignore this, but valuable because we just got that context. Now, that's all preloaded questions. You're probably thinking that's not much of a demo. Here's what I'm doing live. Can you tell me what can you tell me about the last few quarters of budget versus variance against all of our cost centers? Everyone's got cost centers. How do we reason over that? I press enter. This machine will probably give me an answer in about, 20 seconds or so. Now, what we can actually do, as I said, this is a real live demo data. We can actually look at the semantic reasoning and see what it's reasoning over. It's converting this query into its lakehouse, understanding its budgets, and it has come back with a currently not available for this period. So I must not have answered a question in a certain way. That's it. That's a fantastic demonstration of how you can pull in this rich data set and start to make use of your information. It's excellent. Okay, so I'm going to quickly share with you something on what's called the Agent 365, which is very important. Agent 365 is a brand new platform from Microsoft that brings all of your AI agents together in one place, so you can stay in control of your agents and they become part of your everyday work. Agent 365 gives you the power to create, deploy, manage agents across your entire organization from a single verified experience, something you're very familiar to already. Whether you're building a team of agents or automating workflows or handling customer inquiries or streamlining internal processes, Agent 365 makes it simple for you to govern and manage them at scale. And the best part, Agent 365 is actually available on the 1st of May.
Thank you, Ben. That was quite insightful information on what ecosystem Microsoft has to help businesses to be friendlier and all the tools and technology in place. What I'm going to talk through about is how AI can help in NFP businesses, right? And we can start very simple as understanding what are agents. What are agents? Agents are something which can help you automate your task, right? And it can be varied onto the spectrum, and I call it spectrum of agents. From the left-hand side, from simple agents which are retrieval of information to onto the extended side, which is autonomous, which can even orchestrate between the agents, taking one input to the other, as well as bringing in humans when there is an escalation or need to put humans into the loop. And what Microsoft does is it gives you tools or a set of technologies across all different kind of users and different kind of agents. From the end users who are not technology savvy or are not the developers, they have Microsoft Copilot, which can help them to build agents, and I will talk through how templates are available. And for some advanced users who can connect the dots or connect the systems, can use Copilot Studio, feeding knowledge, articles, and sources, can bring in some bit of an advanced task agents by creating through Copilot Studio. And then for really developers and advanced users, there are a lot of tools available like VS Code, GitHub Copilot, and Microsoft Foundry. I attended the event last week, Microsoft AI Tour, and if you have missed that, I think the announcement of Microsoft Foundry having more than 11,000 models in it is a great sense of each individual business use case will have a model specific to it. So it is not just the top known models like Claude or GPTs, but it has more models specific to the business purpose. So I will highly recommend to know more about them and reach out to us to know more about them for specific business use case. When we are talking in context to not-for-profit, there are three things important to it. One is fundraising or grant, very important. Program delivery, more onto the complex side, and reporting on efforts. We can help you across all these use cases. And that's where partner like Exegotech can help you on this journey to becoming frontier through the series of programs we have. And we can also help you find out how you can fund these programs for your business. So let's move into some of the templates that we have. It is not necessary that you have to wait for someone. You can actually switch on the Microsoft Copilot and start using certain templates. I have chosen 3 of them, which is corporate communications crafter, customer insight assistance, and interview questions. Could be key, so you can get started with the templates. Not just the templates, but there are out-of-box agents available as well. There are analyst, researcher, sales agent, there are interpreter, project manager, and quite a lot of them. At Exego, we use sales agent and researcher quite a lot, and it itself saves us a lot of time. I would say hundreds of hours to our sales team. So pretty helpful tools available straight out of the box. And when we talk about AI, it is not complete without the data and the security, right? So definitely we have those programs which can take care of data and security. And Microsoft has security embedded enterprise grade at each and every stage. With Microsoft 365 Copilot Enterprise Data Protection, data is encrypted and isolated and secured at each step. With access controls, you can manage who can access and create those useful agents. And with agent governance, one of the things that we saw through Agent 365, you can actually manage and see how these agents are effective within your organization at scale.
So that does lead us to the next part of the presentation, and that's transforming non-profit operations. Now, this is something you can actually do. This scenario is called the budget agent, and it's built with Copilot Studio, and it's an example of how Copilot Studio can act as a budget agent. It's a terrific use case for programs or budget managers or finance teams to keep on top of the programs and investments inside your non-for-profit business. Now, the goal of this agent is to make it easier for teams to track budgets and manage expenses and reconcile invoices. Just those 3 things alone are such painful things for non-for-profits. Building this agent, you'll be able to help get these answers and insights quickly and help with your routine finance tasks so the teams can save time and money and get a better picture of how their fundings are being used. The budget agent can improve operational efficiencies and enhance your budget performance and improve communications and insights, as I mentioned. Imagine being able to ask your agent, hey, show me the outstanding purchase orders or list me the invoices that may be incorrectly allocated. Excellent insights that you can build. You can do this. You don't need anyone to do this except yourself. Now, the other one, this might be also quite valuable. This is for cross function team load, so that agent can then extend as well. You can connect that agent to this agent, so other team members can get across work areas. Now, in this example, Copilot agent can be used to surface more relevant information by connecting your budget agent to SharePoint and your finance solution. You can really start to see how powerful agents can be. This agent enables internal workers to ask questions like, last quarter, were we able to allocate our donor funds to each of the projects? Or which programs yielded the most donor interest in the region of New South Wales? And which of obviously we shared before, which insights you can tell me about your Christmas campaign? Now, there's just some examples, but you can imagine what you can do with your data once you've connected everything into the Microsoft Graph. That's something you'll probably hear a little bit more about, and Copilot agents in your finance. Another measure or report of business value is managing the budget agents. Your finance team will be able to automate invoicing, significantly reducing the time spent on manual processing, and no one wants to do that, obviously. Your program directors will be able to reconcile budgets and monitor spending agents against their annual budgets, and the benefits just keep on adding. Now, let me just move on to my next demonstration. Basically, here on the screen is some of the questions you can ask as someone who's governing your non-for-profit. Some general questions. Again, this is for the Australian markets, but here are some excellent questions like, what are the legal responsibilities as a director in a non-for-profit in Australia? Or can I share a donor list in Australia with my third parties? What about my revenues are under $3 million? Do I need to comply with any Australian Privacy Acts? All of this stuff is built inside the Microsoft 365 Copilot. With a bit of prompting, I was able to easily create this and get those valuable insights.
Okay, directly to the case study. We have worked with Palmera, which is a not-for-profit organization based in Australia, but they have been doing the great community work in Sri Lanka. They work towards food security. And during this, they partner with Execotech, and we worked through replacing the fragmented data, as well as we created almost 6 apps, which is used by their, I would say, the people who are on the ground working onto the program to go in person, collect the data, guide the users, guide the community with how they can sustain their food security. They were providing microfinance, as well as they are providing the education required for what crops to plant and when to harvest. And not only that, but also collected the information back onto how these programs were effective. With this, they have impacted more than 20,000 people in need, achieving 90% of food security. And this entire thing was using Microsoft ecosystem. So a great case study. We have also worked onto the Samaritans of Singapore from Singapore, where an AI-enabled chatbot was implemented for the interaction with the people who are having thoughts. They can connect through WhatsApp, and through that they can come back and identify how they have been served previously and consulted previously. So great case studies we have worked, and the range has been going great with what can be achieved, the possibilities, what can be achieved. And I'm going to talk about NFP offers. This is a time, and Microsoft always has been supportive to not-for-profit businesses. So if you do not have Microsoft, or if you are into any lower version, I will recommend to get onto the E3 version of it, which is 1420. The business premium versions are 820. But the Microsoft Copilot Business, this is where we spoke about various agents that you can create and use. That is just $26.91. So that is also discounted. I think that's almost 15% of discount on the retail price. So I will highly recommend to go and get your Copilot activated. What next? So there are 2 things you can do. From the poll we did earlier, you can get started with the Copilot readiness assessment. This will help you to get onto this journey and be a frontier firm. And at the same time, reporting is pretty important for everyone. This is what we identified, and it can be used in many different ways to do a better fundraising, to do a better program management, or apply for the grants. So reporting is pretty important. You can go for reporting fabric assessment as well with us. And as I was talking with the Copilot Readiness Workshop, we assess your current environment, guide you to the next what is possible, and build a plan to get started with the Copilot. And then similarly, we have a fabric workshop as well. You can be having some sort of a funding possibility with this, and very important fabric workshop, because it is important to lay down your foundations well and use that data in future to achieve great success through the organization.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Vinay.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, thank you, Joe, very much.
Thanks, team. Bye.